The hills are alive with the sound of F1 engines, meaning it's race time. Welcome along to the Styrian Hills for round 9 of the Breakout Racing League Reliston Championship and the Austrian Grand Prix. Formerly called the Republic of Austria, it is a country where 62% of its total land area is covered with the Austrian Alps, which means the country's average altitude is one of the highest in the world. Austria is most notably known for its famous composers like Mozart, famous architecture as seen in Vienna, and its famous entertainment, most notably the Austrian Grand Prix itself. Speaking of the Grand Prix, the Red Bull Ring was built in 1964 and hosted 18 consecutive Grand Prix until 1987, where it was removed, renamed, relocated, kind of reconfigured and raced until 2003. Well, it was shut down, changes were made, and then reopened again after a name change for the third time in 2011, where it is now named the Red Bull Ring and has hosted every single Grand Prix in Austria since, including some Styrian Grand Prix. The circuit has 10 corners, 3 to the left and 7 to the right, which makes up the Red Bull Ring's 4.318 kilometer, 2.683 mile distance. The circuit has 3 DRS zones, one in the run down to turn 1, one in the run down to turn 3, and one, which we passed a second ago, in the run into turn 4. You'll see plenty of action and overtaking, and we cannot wait. Strategy may not be as effective as it was a week ago in Paul Ricard, but we are back to the softest range of tires again, with the Pirelli bringing the C5, C4, and C3 tires, the C5 being the soft red-wool tire, the C4 being the yellow-wood medium, and the C3 being the white-wooled hard, plus the intermediate and full wet if the tires, if the conditions do deem necessary for the drivers. Let's talk about the championship then. Unsighted Port took the championship lead away from Mumu a week ago, which we're actually on board with Mumu's teammate Boss Cookie as he starts his flying lap of the Ferrari. McLaren's Unsighted Port leads by 15 points over Mumu, who is now at second place, with Bailey, the AlphaTauri, in third. He sits 25 points back from the lead, ahead of the sister car Minico by 6 points. Minico leads Zach the Beast. The two Red Bulls switched around a week ago, with now him being behind his teammate, Minico ahead of Zach the Beast, by the way, by 5 points. Deer Hunter, the Mercedes in 6th, 17 points back of Zach the Beast. Cookie, we're on board with him in 7th with 52 points to his name. Taylor is 12 points back in P8. John, the other Mercedes, 38 points to his name, 72 back from the championship leads, 73, 2 points back of the McLaren Taylor. And Jared, once again, rounds out the top 10 and 26 points to his name, 3 points ahead of his teammate in Ferrari Nut. Well, McLaren, they took the championship lead not only with the drivers, but the constructors a week ago. They took and now lead the Constructors' Championship by 4 points over Red Bull, 194 to 190. Mercedes sits third, 74 points back of Red Bull, and AlphaTauri sits 2 points back of them. Ferrari with fifth, 68 points to their name. They are 19 ahead of Alpine. We have Aston Martin. They are 7 points back from Alpine. They have 42 points to their name. Alfa Romeo, 23 points to them, with Haas having 11, 3 points ahead of Williams, who scored for the second race in a row a week ago, now at 8. I'm joined by Bois. My name is Hey Katra, and now Bois, there's tons of overtaking here, but there's also plenty of overtaking and plenty of chances for penalties. So if you were in this car right here, for example, let's say you were in Boss Cookie's Ferrari going through turn 3, would you push at flat out pace with as much pace as possible and try to go and grab the win, but be susceptible to penalties? Or would you maybe be a little more cautious and just making sure you don't get too many penalties to get that position you have at the end of the race?
It just depends on the driver at the end of the day. There's some drivers that can drive flat out hard and not get many penalties, and then there's some that it's always going to be a question mark. His Cookie got a little bit squirrely there. One thing I have noticed is everyone's out on the track. I think all but 5. So no one's wasting any time. It's so easy to.
This could also be for rain.
Oh, well,
yes, 100%.
I mean, the final corner
I'm not sure.
is probably one of the trickiest corners because you're trying to get all that you can there, but it's just gonna be just a double-edged sword right there.
Well, we went from a couple of misfortunes for the other Ferrari with Bosco Guins is validated his second lap in a row now to Mumu with the provisional best time. So one Ferrari having a little bit of trouble, the other one having some success. Mumu, now the rival championship leader, I guess, in second place now. He was a championship leader a week ago, was overtaken by Port, who, by the way, just went to fourth and 4.5. He now sits at 4.1 ahead of John 4.2, Bailey 4.5, Port 4.5 like I said ago. Crispy with a name change 4.7 ahead of Zach the Beast on the medium tire, 4.7 for the Red Bull. Ferrari in 7th, 5.2. Ron Swanson, 5.8. Phantom, 6.0. Kieran, 6.2. And Tweaking is 6.2. And, well, there's a lot of qualifying still to come. Gookie's going to be out, and once again, I believe, out of gas.
I think he's out of gas.
He's definitely invalidated.
Well, he had
Yes,
Karen coming, but we'll see. Well, looks like he is going to have another go. Oh, as Karen spun. Or Kieran Evans.
Oh, yeah, there he is.
Apologies. Everyone's on the soft except Zach. We'll see how that time relates. One thing you're talking about the championship. We're 8 races in. Already 1/3 of the championship done. 4 races from now, we're at the halfway point. So it was boss again. If you're gonna make a championship push, you have to start doing it now.
Indeed, and especially for Mercedes. Once again, their struggles are still coming to fruition. Well, Red Bull, they're now provisional pole again. Minico 4.0 ahead of Mumu by about 8. Actually, the gap to leader, there you go, 89 milliseconds to be exact. Bailey's retired in the pit lane, 5/10 off the leader.
He's quite confident.
He's safe and through. I believe he is confidently through into Q2. Port goes up to P4, 4/10 behind, about 4.5 or so back from Minico. Axe is on a flying lap. Let's take a look with him.
I tell you saw it at Monaco. I believe it was at Q1 or Q2. We saw one of the McLarens. They retired early and they thought they were safe and they got pushed out. I believe that was in Q2. So sometimes you don't want to pull the trigger early. Zach, well, he ignores what I just said.
Well, in the last couple of races for Axe has been kind of up and down. Actually, his worst finish a week ago in France, 17th position, but ahead of that, he was 10th and 6th. Well, the Haas wants to get out of Q1. Well, he's been invalidated at the final corner. And he'll have to wait another time for that.
I tell you, if you invalidate the final corner, not only does it, screw the lap that you're on, it screws the next lap you're going to take. And, if you do that 1 or 2 times, in Q1 or Q2, it could potentially hurt you for being able to get into the next round.
Well, right now, the cutoff point is from Ed Trona on back. Trona in the Alfa Romeo, 16th. Jared in 17th. KB21 in 18th. Taylor Clan invalidated. Now he's in the pit lane in 19th. And XF1, which we've already talked about, in 20th position, yet to set a time. Tweaking is right now the last of the times people who set a time, 6.2 in the other Haas. And right now, that is your top 15, as it were. Bailey and Zach the Beast have retired from the session. Once again, everyone's on the softs. The C5, still 2 minutes left to go in the session. But it's kind of interesting indeed.
Now, I forgot where Axe was at last week, but, we saw the glitches of all glitches last week at France. Where his race went from being, it was raining or then it went dry to all of a sudden just a white screen. So I don't really equivocate his 17th finish down to him. That was unfortunate circumstances.
Yes, indeed. A lot of these guys are looking for better finishes. For example, one of the Red Bulls, Zach the Beast, he DNF'd. Technically, he did DNF. He got 16th a week ago.
Right.
But he wants a good finish from that. He actually got jumped by his teammate Minico. Well, not only did he get jumped by Minico, look at Mumu. He got jumped by Port. Port won the race, his 3rd of the season, and his first ever since Portimao. And, he wants to pretty much continue that. Right now, he sits P4. He's retired from the session along with Mumu, the championship rival for the McLaren as well. Kieran Evans coming around the final corner. He's invalidated. So we'll have to see if he's going to do another run this time by 6.2 is his time in the Williams P11. A lot of guys have been invalidating. Well, we see that a lot in the race. We see a lot of... Kieran spun around again. Turn 1.
Oh.
A lot of curve.
Axe is about to begin the 3rd sector. So far, he hasn't invalidated. And traffic ahead of him does look good. And now to the final corner, and doesn't invalidate. So let's see what this puts him on the board, and that's a pretty good time.
Wow.
That is a really good time. Let's see where that shakes out, but other than Mumu, Axe is the 2nd fastest Ferrari-powered car. Very impressive.
It is very impressive. A lot of traffic on this run through turn 2 into turn 3. But when it point out right away, that's 6/10 faster than his teammate Tweaking down in 13th. Ed Thronhai got a flying lap in about 6.6. He's now 14th and the last of the ones to set a time. Taylor Clan's on a flying lap down in 20th in the McLaren. He's going to see what he can do and put that McLaren into the top 15 and get into qualifying 2. He's already invalidated, so scratch that.
Well, he's already had 2 laps. I'm going to assume this is going to complete lap 3, and we'll see if he'll have another go. But, you know, you look at, as I've noticed, Karen. I guess Karen has retired.
Oh, yes, he has.
Oh,
that's into the pit lane.
Oh, I see it. I tell you talked about penalties in this race. One thing that the drivers need to be very careful is this pit lane to not cross that white line, because I don't know what it is this season, but I remember last season that was a 10-second penalty if it was caught on stream or shown. I know this because Wavy, I worked with him in Tier 6, and yeah, he won the race, but we got that 10-second penalty for crossing that white line. So that's something that these drivers are going to have to be very wary of.
Yep, so according to the Stewards portal, for crossing that pit entry line, we had a lot of reports for that a week ago at Paul Ricard, and it was kind of lenient there because the drivers do not abide by that white line at Paul Ricard's pit lane. Well, they are having to abide by it this week, and if you cross that pit entry line, that white line into turn 9, you will be either given, if you make an attempt, this doesn't concern to you, but if you do not make an attempt and you straight up obliterate that pit entry line, it will be determined either a 5 or a 10-second time penalty depending on circumstance. That's going to be crucial to look out for in the race.
And I agree to that. I mean, France, I mean, that was a pretty tricky entrance. Here it's kind of clean cut. You know, the white line's almost in the middle of the track, so you have all the room in the world to do it.
Going through turn 10 now, Taylor Clan up to 7th. He's now into the top 15.
He should be
And by
safe.
the way, DRC Jared did it as well. And 4.9 ahead of his teammate Ferrari. Oh, Taylor's around turn 1 as well, without a curve.
Oh, he saved it. He pulled he pulled kind of sort of a Leclerc 360 when he did that at Germany in 18, 19? I believe it was 18.
He's done it everywhere at this point. Leclerc is almost a master of that 360 spin.
Yeah, I remember when Villeneuve did that, I believe Germany. He did a 900. It was, yeah. And all but Deere have actually produced a time. We know Karen will not advance into Q2, already in 16th, but Tweaking, KP21, Ed Troha, and Deere are the final 4 at the bottom. And interesting, Deere has not, I don't even think he's made an attempt yet.
I don't think he has. The Mercedes back after a couple of weeks of a little bit of a hiatus, a little bit of a break for the Mercedes driver. He's back and wants to try and get a good finish this week. Well, one thing to look out for, by the way, Cookie is having a little bit of a free practice session in qualifying. He's done 6 laps on those set of softs. He's still going. See the run on board with the Ferrari the rest of this lap. Through turn 4, it's difficult, especially on that exit. You can see a lot of contact here. Through turn 5, it's just sweeping right. It's kind of harder than you think. Into turn 6, this is probably going to be where a lot of guys get penalties, and this time by right there. You got to keep your tires within that that red part of the curb. This one be another point, and Cookie almost proved why it's hard. Turn 7 and 8,
Yep.
Almost into the barriers. That's going to be difficult, especially for oversteer. And if you understeer onto that turn 8 apex curb, you can get a time penalty as well for not abiding by the track limits. Turn 9 and 10 is kind of fast, and it's definitely easy to get a penalty here. Is Cookie going to go for another lap, or he's going to go in the pit lane? It looks like he's going to go for another one. So let's go through turn 10. Once again, if you turn in too early, that sausage curb is going to bite you. And if you go too wide on the exit, you're going to be invalidated, not only for this lap, like you said earlier, for the next lap as well.
And Deere has left the pits, and he's going to start his attempt. And as you just mentioned it, I mean, with 340 to play with, I mean, how much fuel does he have in the tank? Probably to do 2 laps, maybe 1 more, but if he invalidates on that final corner, it could very well throw a wrench in the Mercedes plans, who needs to start getting on the championship form. I don't think P3 being 74 points adrift from the likes of McLaren and Red Bull is what they thought they had in mind after 8 races in the year.
No, not at all. Mercedes were trying to go and challenge Red Bull for the title like they were the last couple of seasons, and right now they're challenging Ferrari and McLaren, with Red Bull being pretty much the challenger, I guess the lead car, but with McLaren putting up a heck of a fight in the first 8 races. Deere so far going through a Lauda curve and keeps the car, keeps the lap more specifically valid, and right now he, like you said, is the only one who is yet to set a time. The car who is the last driver to set a time is going to be Ed Tronha at 6.6 in the Alfa Romeo, and he's going to try to go and get out of the bottom 5. Same with KP21 and I Am Tweaking. All 3 of those drivers on a flying lap. Ron Swanson is the driver at risk, and the other Alfa Romeo, he's about a 10th off of BRL Phantom. He's in the pit lane, but Phantom has enough time, about a minute and 30 seconds or so is about the range you need to get out of the pit lane, especially because it's about a minute and 5-second lap around the Red Bull Ring.
Which is, if I'm not mistaken, the fastest lap time per time on the calendar.
I believe you are correct. Well, I mean, other than Sakir, but that's not on the calendar this season.
Okay. Well, what is the lap? Sakir's...
Like 55 seconds or something?
I thought it was like a... Okay. I thought like it was a 120.
Deer Hunter. No, that's Bahrain. Sakir. Oh, whoa! What happened there? Deer Hunter just almost, I guess, blocked the McLaren and scared himself off the road.
I wonder if he was surprised with Taylor behind him, who was on a run as well. That was, luckily for both drivers, is no damage, and they'll still be able to participate in qualifying.
I don't think Taylor's too happy. You saw a little bit of a weave from the McLaren there. Not sure if that was displeasure or maybe just warming his tires a bit. But I don't understand why he would warm his tires.
That car has some sort of body language to it. I would agree. It's now
thankfully for Deere, he's in the top 10 though.
He is, and yeah, he's probably in a good position. He's about as these two guys just get over it. Get over it. Whatever happened 30 seconds ago, it happened. It's over. That's how you lose focus. Anyways, Phantom is now on the bubble. Only, well, about 0.3 quicker than Ron. You just completed a lap.
So we'll see what these drivers have to store right now. The Mercedes and the McLaren going through the final corner. It looks like they're not really backing off at all. It's KP21. He's in the pit lane, and it looks like he's out of qualifying. The Williams, the Mercedes-powered Williams, is out of qualifying 1 here at Austria, and will start from the 19th position at best. And Kieran Evans is also out of qualifying. XF1 retires in the pit lane, so he is going to be at best 14th. Right, like you said, Phantom's on the bubble. Ron Swanson, he's a driver at risk in the bottom 5. He's going through turn 5 and 6. We'll see what the Alfa Romeo can do. 11 seconds left in the session. Jared and Cookie, they're in the pit lane. They're out of qualifying as well. No more further action. Well, they're pretty much in the top 15 anyway, and they should be safe. Phantom, he's going through the final corner. Is Phantom going to be safe? He's at 5.7. Qualifying's done. Phantom doesn't improve his position, but does improve his time about 0.3. Ron Swanson, he goes through turn 9 and 10. For the final time, the Alfa Romeo, he wants to get out of qualifying 1. Can he do it? No. 0.2 adrift.
He gained.
Here comes Tweaking, though.
Nope.
17.
So we only got one person left, Ron's teammate. And Phantom's going to be sweating this bullet, but, could be interesting. No, actually, no.
Final 2 corners. Fred Tronha. Right now, there's 1 Alfa Romeo out, both Williams, and 1 Haas. At the moment, he's the other Alfa Romeo joining in. Almost loses the car out of 10. He wants to get ahead of at least KP21. He does, and both Williams to be exact. He's P18, and that's out of qualifying. Ron Swanson, I Am Tweaking, Ed Tronha, Kieran Evans, and KP21. That's 2 Alfa Romeos, 2 Williams, and the Haas.
And Phantom can take a deep breath.
It's getting too close for him in the Aston Martin camp at the last way.
I'm pretty sure him and Axe, Axe probably retired because, well, he wasn't going to have enough time to make an attempt anyways, but it's not ideal to see your fate kind of decided out of your hands there.
Well, fate has been sealed for 15 drivers. They're into qualifying 2. The Canadians 1-2. Minico over Mumu. Red Bull over Ferrari. John 3rd. Crispy 4th. Unsighted Port 5th. With Bailey splitting the McLaren. 7th being Taylor Clan. 8th being Zach the Beast on the medium C4 tire. Deer Hunter 9th. Jared 10th. Cookie 11th. Luciano is 12th. Ferrari Nut and Axe 13th and 14th. And 15th will be Phantom. And you have the bottom 5, Ron Swanson, I Am Tweaking, Ed Ronha, Kieran Evans, and KP21 out of qualifying 1 at the Austrian Grand Prix.
I'd be interested to see. I mean, Zach on the mediums, he's basically 7/10 off of his teammate who got pole. I wonder if that could be just a sign of, okay, what the pace is on the mediums, and if either Zach or Maniko, maybe both, will strap up mediums for Q2.
Well, Zach would have to use old mediums for Q2 if he does that, so I'm not really sure if he...
That is true.
I'm not sure. Maybe he's going to go for just a soft run.
Well, or maybe Maniko's the one that does mediums and Zach does softs, and maybe Zach decided to just do just a time to see what it looked like on the board. Be interesting.
Well, there definitely is going to be. Yeah, it could be a split. That would probably benefit the Red Bull drivers a lot. But the stewards are going to have a little bit of a busy day, and it's only qualifying 1. There's going to be not 1, but I think 2 reports coming into the stewards. And keep in mind of that. It's not going to be any, I guess, on-track penalties, but it will be some super license points coming to the reported drivers' ways for blocking and qualifying.
I'm going to guess, body language, I could probably tell one of them.
You would be correct.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't even need to guess who that car's out on track.
Yeah, I don't.
It's not. Oh, I was wrong.
Oh,
it's Crispy.
Oh, okay. Well, the car was right.
Yeah, I saw it coming through the bottom.
I did too, and I was like, oh well, there's Bailey doing Bailey things, and then okay, Crispy beat him to the punch. Okay.
Crispy's almost a sector ahead of everyone. Same for both AlphaTauris.
The strategy works though. They leave, they're the first ones out, and okay, the track is clean. It's the perfect time to, prime example, Bailey's got mediums on. If you wanted to have a go and have two laps on your mediums, most of them do that. This is the perfect time to do it. It's less traffic. And see what happens later on at the end of the Q2 and strap softs ready just in case if your time doesn't hold up, but
well, let's see. Hopefully these guys hope the times do hold up. Crispy on the softs, and Bailey, like you said, on the mediums. Remember, the last couple of races, actually qualified, I believe, into the top 10 on the medium compound tire. Watch out for that AlphaTauri. Crispy starts his first flying lap of the session, and Bailey's going to be not too far behind him. The Mercedes of John is going to be behind him, turn 9. Yeah, the Alpine, I believe, yep, that's Ferrari nut. And then you have a little bit of a tussle between, I believe, Mumu, Port, and I believe the other Ferrari, a Boss Cookie, with the Aston Martin of Phantom.
And so far, looks like the two AlphaTauris won't have a problem with traffic. The Aston Martin of Lucano is going to yield Crispy there.
Almost lost it in the apex, and then on the exit of turn 4, the AlphaTauri does. And ran wide there, too. That's invalidated. Well, let's go from one AlphaTauri to the other. Bailey's not invalidated. He's on the medium compound tire, and that's a purple sector 2, obviously, because he's going to be the first one to set a lap. The C4 mediums. Remember, this was the C4, I guess, the soft compound tires a week ago at France. So a lot of these guys, there's not much of a pace gap between the mediums and the softs here. I mean, then again, because there's only about 10 corners here at the Austrian Grand Prix. Bailey from turn 10, a 4.8. That is a time to beat so far in the session on the medium compound tire. Behind him is going to be the Mercedes of John. And let's see what he can do. He's been out for a couple of Grand Prix. He's not really been able to use the full illustrious pace of that Mercedes as of late. That's a banker lap at 9.8. He's going to go again.
And Bailey only does one lap, so he's not going to do another run as John invalidated already.
Oh, so that's going to hurt him. Ferrari Nut goes provisional pole with the C5 tire at 4.8. Beats Bailey by about 0.04 of a second or so. The Alpine on front. Well, Mumu just going faster, about 0.4 on the medium compounded tire. That Ferrari looking pacey. Let's see what Port does. He has 0.4 back as well.
Yeah.
It's a lot of times going in.
It's going to be very close. I mean, trying to do the numbers. Looks like it's, 8-6 when it comes to medium to soft guys. So
it's a lot of softs so far that's yet to set a time.
No, there's not. Yeah, 4 of them. Crispy has, but he invalidated. And
What
then,
is going on here? What? Okay.
yeah,
That was a little
that's
odd. There's tons of traffic into turn 4. There's just nothing but cars.
no, there's not.
Wow.
And that
A
would
lot of
be,
action going on right now. Okay, it looks like Minico goes through. That's the Ferrari going through. Luciano's going to be going through in a couple seconds' time. He's on a flying lap now as well. Unsighted Port and Mumu are going side by side and through 5, which is going to have to yield soon because that's Luciano behind him. That looks like it may have been a block.
I tell you have to be aware of who's on a lap and who's not. I mean, you know this from experience. I mean, I don't care if it's annoying to the driver. You always have to tell them who's on a lap, who's not on a lap, because look at Monaco, what happened. Maybe we got a 5-place grid penalty in the qualifying session. You don't want a penalty for something that honestly is completely 100% avoidable to hamper your race.
Well, that may be. I hope that wasn't Taylor, because if that was Taylor, the McLaren who blocked Luciano, I'm not sure if his lap was invalidated beforehand. But if it was Taylor, that's kind of ironic, because I believe he's sending a steward's inquiry for Deer Hunter.
That would be kind of ironic. And speaking, it looks like the Mercedes, just 2 McLaren drivers are already together on the track. I think Unsighted is on a lap.
Speaking of Deer Hunter, by the way, he just went purple sector 2 in the Mercedes. He's on the mediums, going through turn 9 and 10 once more for the final time. He goes on his flying lap. Can he beat his teammate? Can he go provisional pole? We'll see in a second. About what, 22 milliseconds off? For some reason, I read the 5 is a 3.
It's a 4.53, yeah.
Yes.
And, well,
That's a 3.9.
that's a dang.
It's a good lap.
It is a good lap.
The Red Bull there, Minico.
And Phantom's
already retired. Yeah. Not sure about that one.
That is interesting. I don't know if he missed something there or not. And Deer goes P3, does 2 laps on his mediums. And I noticed Mumu went quicker a little bit when he went to P2. And Axe.
Crispy's going to start his flying lap. Yes, Axe goes to the top 10. 5-3. Good lap there so far. Well, Crispy's lap didn't last long. It lasted a corner and validated at the louder curve. Zach the Beast behind him, the sister car, the Red Bull. He's going to start his flying lap and made it through the louder curve without being invalidated. 8 minutes to go in the session.
And let's see, looks like Bailey's out there on soft, so it looks like maybe the AlphaTauris are not. Oh, Crispy's on mediums. He actually started his first attempt on softs, but see if Bailey actually completes this lap or not.
Going through, there's still a lot of cars around. There's not really much space. Luciano getting out of the way for Zach the Beast going through turn 6 here. And once again, like I said earlier, the Red Bull wants a little bit of a redemption from a week ago after there was a lot of issues.
Issues.
Once again, Axe had that blinding white screen. We had Zach having, actually we figured it out. A week ago we were concerned why he was on the intermediate tires on the dry. It was raining on his screen, but it was completely dry.
Yes.
And there was a lot of other things going on. Zach the Beast going through turn 10. He's going to see what he can do in the Red Bull. He goes up provisional pole. That's beating his team by 3 milliseconds.
Wow. Well, I don't think you could ask anything better than that with Red Bull when your two drivers are separated by that small of an amount. And you're basically 5/10 clear of the Ferrari, and you're about 5/10 clear of what you would probably argue would be your main competition in Mercedes when it comes to outright pace.
That's correct right now. Well, Jared goes up to P5. He beats Unsighted Port 6-6-0 for Jared and the Alpine. Right now, the McLaren of Unsighted Port splitting the 2 Alpine drivers. It's been kind of a decent amount of time between the last time Alpine scored a consistently, I guess, a quote-unquote good race for both drivers, that being Monaco.
Yep.
Hopefully this could be a good race for them this week. It's a fun statistic, by the way. Outside of Monaco, Jared has only scored 1 singular point. And Freundt has, what, he got 18. He has 23 points to his name. So outside of Monaco, he only scored 5 points. So Alpine would be actually below Williams.
Well, and that was also,
outside of Monaco.
And that was a race where we had basically a midfield podium because I believe Bailey got second. And I forgot who.
Speaking of Bailey, he's up to 5th. Who? For 3rd was Ferrari Nut, actually.
I believe,
so
yeah, it
maybe-
was
never mind.
Ferrari Nut.
So he would have 8 points, so a little bit of wrong there.
Not this math. And right now, it'd be, I mean, if you're Crispy, let's see, not on a lap. Right now, the track is kind of clean. There's only 4 people out, and I say that, here comes the train. You got one of the Ferraris leaving, one of the Mercedes leaving.
Well, we have about 5 minutes, 30 seconds left to go in the session, and what you see right now is the times and the tires everyone has used. Remember, you need to start on the tires you qualify into the qualifying 3 session. At the moment, the top 10, ending with Boss Cookie, you would have everyone on mediums except for Ferrari Nut, who's gone on to a set of mediums actually right now. Unsighted Port would be on the medium, but Bailey would be on the soft. Both Red Bulls would be on the soft. Everyone else would be on the C4 medium compounded tire, unless someone outside the top 10 gets a good lap in. Crispy, right now, let's go look at the times everyone, or the tires everyone has on. Crispy's on the medium. John's out on an out lap with a soft. Axe on a soft right now. He's in the pit lane. Soft for Cookie. Soft for Taylor. Soft for Port. Soft for Bailey. Obviously, he's still on his flying lap. And soft for Mumu. Everyone's trying to look for that softs, hopefully, and hoping they don't have to use them.
Well, right now, you know, Cookie's on the bubble with basically 105 flat. Axe is about, or Lacano 1.4 behind. Axe 0.24. Phantom, we already know, went out of advance, and John surprisingly is in 14th. I just noticed that.
Looks like he's not had a very good, successful session so far, but he still has 4 minutes to go. Ferrari Nut through the final couple of corners through turn 9 and through turn 10. He keeps it valid both times. Is he up in the Alpine? If he is, he would be in the top 10 on the mediums. Yes, he is actually gone through. Yes, so he's going to use those medium right now. Everyone in the top 10 except for the 3 Hondas. Speaking of the Honda, Crispy's going through turn 3 on the medium combat tire as well.
I guess that's the strategy that they want to keep with that car. If he can pull it off, and then hopefully in Q3 get as high as you can on the order.
Yellow flag. That looks like a Ferrari. Maybe Boss Cookie. Yes, it is. Looks like he's going a little bit slow, either trying to go for another set or another run, or going into the pit lane behind him. He has a Mercedes, though, to get out of the way in a couple seconds' time. Yellow flag. Looks like a McLaren getting out of the way of the other Mercedes, I believe that being Deer Hunter.
Please tell me that is not Taylor again.
That would be kind of funny. Going through turn 10, we have Crispy. Is he going to go through in the top 10? He got 11th a week ago. He's in the 9th.
Which kicks Boss Cookie out. And then, oh, who just went? Is that? Oh, John up to P3.
There you go. So he's now up into the top 10. And actually, to come to think of it, he's now on the softs as well.
Yes, he is. I would probably say right now, top 4, safe. But when you get down to, I mean, it's tight. You get the bubbles of 104.8. Jared sits in P7, theoretically not even, and he retires. Okay, so he's confident, I guess. You still got Boss Cookie out there. You still got Taylor out there that could potentially go faster. I wouldn't have retired.
We'll have to see. 2 minutes left in the session. Taylor apparently goes purple sector 2. By the way, look at all those cars going through turns 6 and now into 7. That is a ton of cars going through that corner, and that is a lot of dirty air. Oh, no.
Everyone avoids him. Boss Cookie jumps up to P4.
Taylor goes to 8th.
And remember what I said about Jared? Now he's 9th. He's only a 10th from 11th.
And Port needs to go out now, too. He's now the driver at risk in 10th.
Yes. And we'll see if he leaves.
Oh. Luciano just invalidated. That's going to hurt him.
He'll have enough time to start another lap, I believe. It's the question is, does he have enough fuel? He can probably charge the battery enough to where he can have another go, but fuel will be in the question as Port leaves. He's going to cut it quite close. And looks like Nakano is letting traffic by. He's letting, I guess that's steer by.
see here. I'm on board with Axe. Is the Haas going to go for a lap, or is he going to go to the pit lane? Looks like he's going to go into the pit lane. So the Haas is out of qualifying. Phantom and Axe. And Crispy's out of qualifying as well. He's retired in the pit lane. Luciano, he's invalidated. He's going to go for this final run. Ferrari Nut is in the pit lane. And guess what?
Yeah.
He has not enough time.
He spun and then had to come in the pits. And that, with the time that was available, that was not going to happen. So it kind of comes down to Lucano at the moment.
Luciano and for unsighted Port, because remember, if Luciano improves, Port's out of qualifying, so Port needs to get a good lap too to prevent Luciano from improving. He needs to find about 0.5 of a second, roughly.
He didn't find it in Sector 1.
Yellow flags almost everywhere, so it kind of makes it impossible to see the times left in the session. There it is. Checker flag is out, so qualifying is a go. Here's going to see who can get that final spot. Looks like Axe is out of qualifying. Phantom's out of qualifying. Crispy and Ferrari are out of qualifying. It's going to be down between Luciano and Unsighted Port. Luciano going through turns 7 and 8 right now.
It's going to be close.
Valid? Yes, he can.
He's now 0.4 to the good. He's 0.4 faster.
Into 8, into 9, now into 10. And that's rain.
That is rain.
So that's going to hurt Port. Luciano beats Port. Does Port survive?
Wow.
Can Port get this? 1 corner to go for the McLaren. He has rain to beat. Can he improve?
He was a 10th quicker. He does.
And he's now into the top 10. That was too close for comfort for Port.
Probably too close to comfort for Jared as well.
So, out of qualifying 2, Luciano is out by less than half a 10th.
Wow.
That's incredible for him, but unfortunate as well. He'll start P11 in the Grand Prix, but we have rain. Does that mean qualifying 3 will be wet? We'll have to see then. Zach the Beast tops the session from his teammate Minico. John 3rd, Port, Cookie, Moo 5th and 6th for the Ferrari guys. Deer Hunter, Bailey, Jared, Taylor, not in that order, but 9th and 10th. Luciano, Ferrari Nut, Crispy, Axe, Phantom, all out of qualifying. In the top 10, though, Alpine, Jared is going to start on the mediums. Deer Hunter, Moo, mediums. Everyone else on the C5 softs.
That is an impressive lap for Jared on mediums. That was a very good that is impressive.
Well, him and 2 other guys will have to start on those tires come the race in a few moments' time, about 15 or so minutes from now. Well, we saw rain at the end of the qualifying 2 session. Will we see rain in the qualifying 3 session?
It's still raining.
We do.
It doesn't look heavy, though. Can't tell. All we see is a pit lane.
Cookie's bolted on inners, everyone else on softs. Is it going to be a race out of the pit lane? There's an AlphaTauri.
No.
There's the Ferrari. Everyone's out now.
It looks like on my end, everyone's got soft bolted up. So if you're going to do a soft attempt, this is the time to do it. It's only going to get any...
The track, I think, is too wet.
I agree. I just saw a look of it, and I believe it's too wet.
Cookie's the only one out on inners, by the way. The only one. Moo and Minico are battling for track position. Side by side through turn 3 in qualifying. This is a little bit fun. Side by side again down the back straightaway into turn 4. Oh, the track's way too wet now.
Yeah, it is.
Look on board with it. Look at the puddles already starting to form. The rain's coming down. The softs are just not going to give enough grip, especially by this time. A lap from now, I think Cookie may be your provisional pole sitter because it's just way too, it's raining too much.
Interesting, Cookie on my end shows I have softs on.
Oh, there he goes. He is on soft on my screen. Apparently. Okay, nice.
Well, we'll see. If anyone heads into
everyone's
the
out
pit,
on softs. It's going to be equal playing fields.
I think you're going to see what you can get right here. It looks like you have a Ferrari that has spun. And he hasn't got it up. The 2 McLarens are next to each other. Oh, Bailey saves it. But
oh, Minico doesn't. He's in the wall out of qualifying. DRS is disabled.
And that would be the sign
If
it's
I was
too
any
wet.
of these guys, I would back off
Oh,
now.
100%.
It's not worth it. A prime candidate for pole just crashed out. It's way too wet. Look at that, sprayed from the John's car in front. You can already see it.
I mean,
wow.
Zach he's got his hands absolutely full. Yeah,
He's not the only one.
Well, Red Bull will have some work to do with Miniko starting P10 on the soft compound for the race.
I had a feeling it was just too wet. I really did. Well, unfortunately, Miniko's out of qualifying. He will now start from the 10th position. And once again, like you said, on those soft compounded tires, Jared letting through Zach the Beast. Are these guys going to go into the pits, or are they going to continue on?
Looks
Zach
like the
pits?
two Mercedes are going to try to complete their laps. Mumu does. Deere does.
That's beatable.
I would agree.
About 11.8, I think, is what a time to beat possibly could be. And we see John 23.8. He definitely backed off of that lap. Port 14.1. What does Taylor, his teammate, do going through the final couple of corners? He's still valid. Is he going to go on? Yes, he is. A lot of these guys just choosing to stay out, which I don't believe. I don't agree with.
Yeah, I don't agree with as well.
28.1.
Bailey will be the first one to give the Inters a shot. He has Inters strapped up. Yeah, I agree. With 8 minutes remaining, both Mercedes, both McLarens, and the Ferrari are going to have to rendezvous back to the pits, the lone Ferrari being Mumu.
Well, it's ironic that the game showed me as Cookie having those intermediates on, because I think if he would have had those on, he would be positional pole right now, to be fair.
It probably would have been, and it probably would have been the most ideal time to go, because the track was wet, but it wasn't significantly raining hard.
Oh! Taylor's off into the grass. Luckily, there's no barriers there. He would be out of qualifying as well.
I tell you, these guys that are on softs, you need to drive like grandma on the way home, because the conditions are not ideal. And it's going to be very, very easy to spin. And now that you have hot tires, it's just going to make it even worse.
Oh, look at the camera. That is awesome. There's tons of water spray on the camera as well. It shows how little visibility there is now. And out of the pit lane for an out lap now. Taylor continues on.
Well,
not sure if I agree with that even more than I agree with it the last lap.
With how slow he went to turn 1, yes.
Oh, and out of qualifying he goes. I don't agree with that.
I'm a loss for words as well. There's times to gamble and times to not. Yeah. That wasn't a time. And he will start,
especially with 8 minutes left.
And he will start P9. Now, the one thing about the wet conditions is it kind of throws away the car performance out the window, as Bailey is going to be the first one to likely complete a lap on Enders, and he's already Purple Sector 1. But what this does do is it kind of now elevates to the driver performance and kind of equalizes everything. So we'll see how this shakes up the potential grid. We do know we're going to have a Red Bull and a McLaren P10, P9.
To be fair, Mumu's lap isn't too bad, especially since he was on the softs in intermediate conditions. Because we're going to see around 12s, 11s in intermediate times regardless. Bailey coming through turn 9 and 10. What will the Alpha Tauri do? The first chance in the first time on the intermediate tires. What can he do? Pre-1 at 12.4. Like I said, not too bad.
A full second faster.
Yeah, it's still going to be a lot of time. So once again, out of qualifying, Miniko and Taylor Clan both can try to, I guess, duff it out on the soft compound tires during the intermediate conditions. But the next one's going across the line. Jared, he goes provisional pole, 12.1. Behind him is going to be the Mercedes to start a flying lap. That looks like Deer Hunter. Yes, it is.
Well, if these Inters you can probably do more than just one lap. So the possibility of your second lap or even your third lap might be faster. As Cookie does.
Cookie goes faster.
Now
Zach goes even faster. Wow.
You know, it does look like it's raining, which probably gave every one of these drivers a scare when you consider the last week. But the rain doesn't look as heavy as it was last week, which is probably a good thing. You know, we had 2 VSCs, if I remember, in that race, and I believe they were because of visibility, which is very rare.
I haven't seen it myself. I didn't know that was actually a thing. But yes, we had 2 virtual safety cars for weather. I was impressed.
Yeah, because, you know, we're sitting here watching it. We don't see any cars go around. We don't really see any damage. As Jared...
Purple sector 2.
Jared's P3.
Cookie's going through into 9 and 10. Not sure if that purple sector was correct or not, but remember, he's only a 10th off, less than a 10th actually, off of Zach the Beast, who's actually behind him. Cookie goes invalidated on the final corner. Zach's invalidated as well, and it looks like their challenges is done.
And that's going to affect their next lap as well. So with 3:30 remaining, not a lot of time to come back to the pits, strap up a new set, and if ideally your second lap's faster, probably, I don't know if you're going to have enough time.
It's going to be close. 3 minutes left in the session. Bailey's going through turn 9 and 10. Does he pit? No, he doesn't. He stays out. By the way, I believe Mumu's now dropped down to P7. He's yet to do a time in the intermediate conditions. John looks like to have improved his lap to P6. Bailey goes to P2, and look how close that is.
That is close. And honestly, if it wasn't for the snap in the final corner, probably was going to have it. And it looks like Bailey's going to have another go.
Jared's only a 10th off a pole, roughly 2. Can he improve that? He's now pole by a 3/10 gap. Wow. Well, to be fair, didn't Esteban Ocon get 5th place here in the wet?
He did.
In real-life racing.
I believe he did. Bailey
spun,
here. So that's probably his qualifying session done, but still P3. And Mumu, I don't know. Let's see, where is Mumu on the... There he is. Still hasn't set a time yet. He's already invalidated, but I show this is he's only done 1 lap on the Inter, so he should have plenty of tire life to be able to do another go, but just don't invalidate the final corner.
Speaking of the final corner, inside port goes through and doesn't improve his lap time. He's still looking for that 3rd position from Bailey. And, well, yellow flag. It looks like 2 cars actually gone off. Looks like Bailey is, actually, Port's already invalidated. That looks like his lap is done for this time, and maybe even his qualifying. You see the fuel kind of dashing in the bottom right. Cookie hasn't gone out. He needs to go out now if he wants to get a run in. Yes, he is going out.
Doing it for the, for just 1 lap. 3 sector 1, Mumu doesn't improve.
Going through the final sector, the final corner. Zach the Beast 3/10 off. Can he improve? Deer Hunter's up to 2nd. Zach the Beast goes pole. Can Jared respond? Deer Hunter's going to the exit of 3. He's going to have 1 more lap after this if he does not improve with this lap.
Is that on side of port has spun? I don't know if that really affected Mumu or not. And Mumu's going to be, well, pretty much after everyone with Mumu, is going to be done. 2nd quickest.
Wow. Deer Hunter, the final couple of corners, he's going to try to improve. He was looking for a chance to go in and overtake Jared in the standings. He's out of gas. Heartbreak. He's completely out. Oh, no, he's not.
Actually, I take back what I said. Mumu will have 1 more lap.
Well, the Red Bull was a little bit wide. Looks like that may be everyone done out of qualifying. Checker flag is flown. Deer Hunter's out. Unsighted Port is done as well. Taylor obviously is going to start 9th. Minico 10th. John's going to start 8th. It's going to be down to the Ferraris, Boss Cookie and Moo Moo. What can they do going through? The next one across the line will be Moo Moo. You remember, retiring out of the session. John, he did that in the pit lane. So, can Moo Moo find the 2/10 on Zach the Beast? It's going to come close to this. 2 corners to go.
We found 800s.
He was a championship leader a week ago. He would like to start Austrian Grand Prix on the pole if he can. He needs to find about 2/10. Can he find that time? Is he going to start on pole? No, he's not. He's done as well. Jared's invalidated. Bailey, he's invalidated as well. Boss Cookie, where is he? He's going through turn 8. He's invalidated. Zach the Beast is on pole for the Austrian Grand Prix.
Well, it's kind of best case, worst case scenario for Red Bull. Good news is you're on pole. Bad news is your other drivers in 10th. And with Austria being somewhat of a slipstream track, you can make up positions, but if the DRS train perhaps evolves, it's going to be very hard.
Well, starting on those softs, Zach the Beast is, like you said, Red Bull, they didn't split their strategies. Well, apparently they split, I guess, their starting positions, so to speak.
What we do know is, I do remember Jared's on mediums, and he's P3. I'm trying to think, was Moo Moo on softs or mediums? I want to say softs.
I believe it was, everyone was on softs except for Jared, Deer, and one other. Or maybe John, not sure, but I think it was 3 guys started on the mediums. Well, let's see how that plays out. Zach the Beast will grab pole position here in the Austrian Grand Prix ahead of Moo Moo by about 0.2 of a second. Jared, he has another great qualifying session. He starts on the second row of the grid. He has Deer for company. Bailey, he'll start 5th with Unsighted Port next to him by less than half a tenth. Well, don't look too far. Boss Cookie was even closer to Port than Port was to Bailey. He starts 7th. John starts 8th. Taylor crossed out of qualifying, and Minico did the same, both at turn 1 at the Lauder curve.
What could have been? You know, Minico, I get it. Trying to push all you can. Probably don't know what it is. Unfortunate. Taylor, I, for the life of me, don't understand why he stayed out.
He stayed out for about 2 extra laps than really he should have, but unfortunately for the McLaren, he will start in 9th position. Well, qualifying's done. Q1, Q2, Q3 is all in the bag, but now it's time for the Austrian Grand Prix at the Red Bull Ring. It's going to be fun. Well,
this is Red Bull's home track, and Red Bull needs a bounce-back race after France, so hopefully they can get that with one side of the garage, and hopefully the other side of the garage can make like hay. And on the flip side, you're someone like Jared, you hope you can get a good start, and we'll see what he can do with his pace, but starting P3 on mediums, if he can maintain a bit, that might provide well for the end.
Ooh, I just realized something, because now we have the trusty friend, the race director, to tell us what exactly the drivers are starting on, and it's not looking too good for Zach. Moo Moo, medium. Jared, medium. Deer Hunter, medium.
Well,
2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
Well, if you're Zach, you need to do the old Sebastian Vettel signature move. He needs to get a brilliant start, and he needs to break the DRS train. That was pretty much Vettel's signature punch back in his Red Bull days and a little bit of his Ferrari days. That's what Zach has to do. He has to break away and be able to pull a gap over the medium guys so that way when his tires die, he just doesn't fall like a rock. If he can't do that, he is going to be in a world of pain because, I mean, after what, 4 laps, 5 laps, his softs, they're going to get pretty close to being the same sort of pace as the mediums.
We'll have to see how that plays out, but he's not alone in the top 10. Bailey, Port, Cookie, John, Taylor, and Minico all starting on the softs. Outside the top 10, you have a Free Sources tire. Luciano, Ferrari Knight, Crispy, Axe all chose the medium. Phantom, Ron, and now Tweaking has chosen the C5 soft. Ed Tronha, Kieran Evans, and KP21 all for the medium as well.
There we go.
Well, the Austrian Grand Prix, and it's, look at Zach actually darted away instantly. He's trying to make his presence known. He already wants this Grand Prix, and he has to wait about 37 laps, 36 plus the formation lap. Let's go look and run through the grid as we go. A week ago, Zach the Beast finished 16th due to a lot of issues, him being one of the drivers that were affected by it. He wants to kind of get a rebound and grab this win at Red Bull's home circuit. Well, Mumu lost the championship lead a week ago. He wants redemption. He wants to grab that championship lead back in the Ferrari. Jared, like I said earlier, outside of Monaco, he has not scored. He only scored once at France, and that was P10. Behind him, Deer Hunter. Deer Hunter has not been there in the last couple of weeks. He actually missed last week, but got a podium in Canada. Well, he wants to grab some makeup for lost time. Bailey starting P5. He's going to do the best he can to grab some points. He's now third in the championship. He's had a spring of point Spain finishes ever since Spain. Second, seventh, fourth, second again. Port, like I said, he took the championship lead. He wants to reclaim that and keep it there. Cookie, he is going to need a lot of points. He's down behind Deer Hunter. Last two races, 10th, 12th. Two before that, didn't show up at all. John, he's not going to need a good race as well. Remember, the last couple of races, he's not scored. He's missed 2 and got 13th. Taylor Clan, he's now going to do the best he can. He's finished 4th, 19th, and 4th the last 3 races. Minico, he almost would have won last week, but had a plethora of penalties affect him. He starts 10th. Luciano, Ferrari Nut, Crispy, Axe, Phantom, Ron, Tweaking, Antrona, Kieran Evans, and KB21 rounds out 11th through 20th, and they're all going to be looking for those coveted race position points for the Austrian Grand Prix as we look from KP21 on his onboard to go to the 20th grid spot for the Austrian Grand Prix to get underway in 2021.
Well, we have a championship fight between Red Bull and McLaren for 1 and 2, and then we have a fight with Mercedes and AlphaTauri for 3 and 4. And
Let's see how it plays out.
All but one of their cars are already in the top 10 starting wise.
36 laps, 10 corners, 20 drivers. And it's 5 lights. And it's lights out. And away we go. Zach got a decent start. Not actually a bad one, but look at this. Moving with an excellent start. Already ahead of the Red Bull and into the lead. Going into turn 1 from Zach. Oh, spinning around. That's the Mercedes of Deer Hunter. He's around and has lost all the way from 4th to 20th and is out of the running for the top 5 already. Going looking through the top 5, though. Minico, and not Minico. Zach the Beast now challenging Mumu. Zach the Beast takes the lead going down to the turn 3. Side by side around the outside of turn 1.
Taylor drives it in
turn 3,
deep.
Mumu gets ahead of Zach. Jared, Port, Boss Cookie, John, Minico up to 7th. Taylor, Crispy's gone up a couple positions. Bailey's down a couple positions. Look at this, side by side. That's Ferrari Nut and Bailey down in the turn 4. A lot of action. It's only been 4 corners.
Minico already got the P7, now looking to P6 on John, side by side, and oh, wow. That was committed. Good start from him. And inside of Port, up to P4. Oh, who's that off?
Big crash.
That was Boss
Cookie. I believe someone else was involved as well.
Trying to see who would that be as Mumu completes lap 1.
Not sure, but 1 lap down and 35 to go. Mumu leads Zach the Beast, who's actually closing on the Ferrari. Is he going to make this move? Does he want to make this move? He's going to make this move a lot earlier than he wants to. Looking for it, he stays behind the Ferrari, but he's looking for that lead in the Austrian Grand Prix. Jared's going to be behind him on the mediums. Port up to 4th. Minico to 5th. He's had a great start up 5 positions already. John 6th. Taylor, Crispy, Ferrari Nut, Bailey, both AlphaTauris in the top 10 with Cookie out of the top 10. We have a Cookie and Deer Hunter both out of the top 10 when they started in the top 5.
Zach, DRS will be available lap 3. Zach is going to have to use that in order to get by Mumu and open up a gap. He cannot sit behind Mumu, and he cannot have Jared stay behind him, both on medium tires. But if you're Jared, you would just love to just stay right there.
Speaking of Jared, he has a McLaren behind him. That's unsided Port. He's right up his chuff in the McLaren right there. Look at that. Fastest lap for the Grand Prix right now, 7.1. Now it's a 6.5. Minico goes even faster. Minico's on a charge.
Here they go, Zach. Up to the second DRS. Gets a toe. Pops now goes on the inside and has the move done.
He has it done, and the DRS train is now going to be activated from everyone else behind him. You need to be within a second of the car in front. But now, Look at that. Moo Moo now has the DRS on Zach the Beast, but yellow flag. Around goes Taylor Clan.
Oh. They'll fall back to probably P15, P14, battling now with tweaking. And now if you're Zach, you need to fly away. You need to fly away right now.
Yes, he does, especially because those mediums behind him, they're not going to be as fast right now. Moscow gets past Ed Tron, battle for 18th. Oh, around, there goes Phantom. Or Luciano, sorry.
Well, we've seen a couple drivers make mistakes already. Zach gets the fastest lap, but he is not pulled within or over a second, so he is effectively leading the DRS train. P8 Ferrari nut, 1.6 behind Crispy. He's effectively leading a train as well. Well, not really. He's just got Bailey behind him. Axe up to P10.
Moves up and down the order. Zach, oh, big crash!
That's Jared.
That's Jared.
He's done. That looked, no, he's not.
Wow. Huge impact.
I saw that.
Exit turn 3.
I saw that on the backstretch there, and I thought that was game over. Quite unfortunate. While through all that happened, I don't know maybe if contact between Jared and side of port caused that, but Manico is now in the 3rd place.
John, the first one, he has a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings and track extensions. That'll be applied at the end of his race time.
Yeah, you don't want those to start adding up. You know, this track, probably the final corner, you're going to see a lot of them. Final 2 corners, honestly. And turn 1, Zach goes wide there, but I don't know if that was warning or not. Jarrett's pitting as well as KP21. And Ed Tronha's pitting.
Moo Moo's right up the back of Zach the Beast going into turn 3. He wants to make a move into turn 4.
Almost
Zach the
in the
Beast
grass.
blinking the ERS. Less than 10%. Moo Moo to the right-hand side. He's on the mediums. He's trying to go for the inside of Zach the Beast. He's going for the lead. Zach keeps around the outside. Contact made a little bit. Still side by side. And Moo Moo's going to grab the move into turn 5. Into 6. Zach just backs out of it.
Probably a wise move to back out of it. If you're Zach, you just want to, if you can't run away with them, you just need to stay with them. Problem is now he's got his teammate who's had a brilliant start. Up 7 spots, I believe. Now breathing down his neck. And honestly, the front 5, they've not really broken away from each other. Front 5, front 6. Crispy's up to P6. Good start from Crispy. I believe he started P12. Phantom gets a time penalty, his first.
Here comes Zach again. The left-hand side of the Ferrari. He'll go easily through, but don't look now. Minico is going to go around the outside of turn 3 of the Ferrari. Moo Moo's going to keep it there. Minico's going to get the switchback, and the Red Bull is now gone from 10th to 2nd in about 6 laps.
What a move. I think Minico knew that's where he was going to defend and just did the old, like you said, just a switchback. Now we have a Red Bull 1-2, like it was at Canada, like it was at Baku, what it could have been at Canada. Or, I'm sorry, France.
Well, Minico's on a huge charge right now. Started 10th. He's up to 2nd. And, well, right now, he's looking for that lead. 73% ERS. Zach is within 20%. You saw him blinking on the straightaway. He's trying to keep these guys at bay. And obviously it has not worked his battery deployment-wise. So his teammate's going to be on a rapid charge. And he may have a little bit of pace advantage. So that ERS, when deployed, has about 100 brake horsepower extra on top of the horsepower of the F1 engine already. The Honda is not too shabby in a straight line. It's not one of the best. Actually, it's not the best, but it's one of the best for engines. And, well, that's definitely going to help right now as they pull away from Moo Moo, who may actually be under pressure from unsighted port in the McLaren. But right now, Moo Moo holds on. Zach the Beast and Minico looking for the move. Backs out of it.
While you're talking, inside of port as well picked up a 3-second. Red Bull, interesting here. Are they going to battle for it, or are they going to let the car that
went through?
Yeah. Looked like Minico wanted to take a look the previous turn 3, but didn't do that time. That time he does.
Well, from 10th to 1st in about 6 laps, Miniko is on a charge, and he's wanting this Austrian Grand Prix victory. His teammate behind him, Zach the Beast. Right now, these two looking pretty quick, but they have to hold off Mumu, who's up to 3rd, or actually down to 3rd from his start in 2nd place on those medium compounded tires. How long before those tires start, I guess, overtaking the speed and the pace difference from the softs? Mumu's still in that pace gap and that DRS gap. Look at this, so John, he's pretty close. Is Zach the Beast going to go for this move? He's going to stay behind him.
Hey, Taylor has made a nice recovery. He had his issues on lap 1. He's up to P9. So good for him. Is that Ferrari not spinning? Yes. Off the exit of turn 2. Both Alpines.
Is any damage?
Oh! That didn't help.
Yeah, it didn't help at all. Contact between Cookie and Ferrari Nut. Yellow flag. That's Luciano again. Turn 8. So look now. Cookie's gonna look for this move. He may not be close enough though.
And it has
no, he's not.
Just completely unraveled for Alpine. First, Jared had his issues, and he pitted for hards. And then Ferrari Nut, who I believe had Crispy behind him, but I don't think Crispy did anything to cause that. Just looked like Jared just lost it on corner exit.
Well, Alpine's day has definitely gone from bad to worse. And, well, it's kind of the opposite of what happened for Red Bull. They've gone from okay to great with that 1-2. Don't look now, though, outside of port. Maybe trying to look for this move. Look at almost just the back up almost is. I could just classify it on the exit of turn 3, but don't look now inside of port. He's looking for this move. He's using a little bit of the battery. He's going to go to the left-hand side. He's going to be close to that move. Kind of blocks it off and covers that position. Yellow flag already. I saw. I
believe that's
figure out who that was.
Ferrari Nut again.
Luciano, 3-second time, put on multiple bonus track extensions that we applied at the end of his race time. Right now, Mumu is just kind of struggling because he's not as aggressive right now as inside of port behind him, so he has to try to drive a little bit more defensive, and he can't really get Zach.
Well, we were talking about Miniko and his charge from P10 to P9. Another driver that's had a really good charge as well is Crispy, starting, I believe, P12. He's already up to P6, plus 7 from the grid. Tweaking's up plus 6 from his starting spot to, he just lost from the deer, so now he's plus 5. And your big...
Oh, going really wide, John. Sorry to cut in.
And your big losers, Jared and Lucano, 14 and 9, down from where they started. As Unsighted gets...
Port gets past Mumu. Yes, he does.
You know, right now, those top 6, they're all in the DRS train. Nico seems to be able to hold it, though. Probably one reason he has his teammate behind him. So one would think that would help.
Phantom gets past Axe. Battle for 9th, by the way. I want to point out, Axe is in the points again.
Good for him. Oh, good for Axe and Phantom.
Don't look now. Miniko is almost out of the DRS range from his teammate, Zach the Beast, 9/10 of a second. I mean, obviously, it's pretty difficult to get out of DRS range here in Austria, especially because, I mean, it's basically all DRS ranges. I mean, from turn 1 all the way down to turn 4, it's just one long DRS range, if you could really say. And, well, it's going to be difficult to get out of. But yellow flag again. Looks like Luciano.
You would be correct, as the leaders are not too far away from potentially putting him a lap down. He'll be the first one to fall a lap down.
John's going to look for this move. Here we go to the left-hand side of the Ferrari into turn 4.
Ooh,
He's going to
contact.
squeeze him almost to the exit curb, and that's going to get the move pretty much done and dusted for Mumu ahead of John once again. That squeeze into turn 4 really helped get, I guess, not the line that John wanted there.
And waiting in the wings for those two is Crispy. And Mumu and Crispy are on the mediums. The rest are all on the softs. As Taylor gets by Bailey.
I mean, look at that. It's that second sector. From turn 4 all the way down to about turn 10 is where Miniko really gains about 2/10 on him. on Zach the Beast, but he cannot seem to gain it. Deer Hunter passes Axe, battle for 10th. Deer Hunter's now into the points again.
It seems like just whatever you gain in that sector, you immediately lose in the next 2 sectors. So it's kind of one of those things where you look at a guy like John, you don't know when they're going to want to pit to get these softs off for a new set of softs, or maybe for mediums. But
Yellow flag, tweaking's around. Turn 1, louder curve.
oh, that's unfortunate. Still P14. Hopefully he's got Kieran coming.
Deer Hunter is not done, by the way. He made that move on Axe not too long ago. He's now pressurizing Phantom, battle for 9th. You see him going into turn 6 as Unsighted Port gets past Zach the Beast. Has he pitted? What happened to Zach? He has pitted.
Yeah, he has pitted. You kind of wonder if maybe this is going to be, if Zach's looking for the undercut.
Yellow flag again. Phantom's around. The other Aston Martin at turn 8.
Zach goes on the medium compound. Also in is Taylor and Bailey. So these will be the first ones to pit. Taylor goes on to the medium compound. And Bailey will also go on the medium compound. So we'll see if these medium tires, if they can go 23 laps, or if they're going to do a medium soft strategy race.
There's yellow flags everywhere and so much going on. It's kind of hard to hold up with. You see Bailey getting up past Tweaking and Taylor, and Axe having some issues there. By the way, Minico is about 1.3 seconds clear of Unsighted Port. He has broken that DRS.
Yes, he has.
He's actually pitting.
He is pitting. Yes, he is pitting. Interesting, the lead car there of Red Bull did not get the one we'll call peripheral treatment. That's going to be interesting, because Zach is in sector 2, now sector 3. Actually, I don't know if this is going to work out in Zach's favor, because he's in a lot of traffic.
Oh, it's a huge jump.
It is a very huge jump. So that didn't work out for Zach. And his other problem right now is Zach is behind Deer Hunter, who's on 13-lap mediums. He's not going to pit anytime soon. 4 seconds is what that cost Zach.
Zach the Beast closing on Deer Hunter. He's looked for the inside, kind of backing out of that. Deer Hunter is kind of parked his car in the right position there, and Zach could not get past. Port's past Ron Swanson, battle for 8th position. Port pitted. Ron Swanson has yet to stop. He's on those softs. Zach's going to go for it again on Deer Hunter. Around the outside of turn 4. Is going to make this move sick. Still side by side, squeezing on the exit.
Oh, John's off.
Zach's still side by side. John's off.
Or is that Deer?
And it's John. Zach gets past Deer, battle for 5th. He does get past, and now he has 5 seconds to his teammate. Speaking of his teammate, there he is right there. Minico almost collects John in the pit entry.
Well, it was going well for John and Mercedes, but that's really going to hurt him. Theoretically, when he pits, he lost all the gap. Ooh, wow. Looks like
Tweaking's off. What's happened to the Haas? Turn 7.
Boss with another time penalty.
There's a lot of just chaos going on here. I can't really catch all of it. I apologize. A lot of penalties gone on. Oh, Tweaking spawning the pit entry. Almost collected the Alpine. I believe that's Ferrari Nut. Thankfully, he's ghosted.
And he comes into pits. Right now, Moo and Crispy have not pitted. They're on 14-lap mediums. Be interesting to see how long they can push these mediums until they pit for theoretically softs.
Oh! Mubu's off and around turn 10, and he's gone from the lead of the race almost into the barriers. Not sure if he has damage. I think he doesn't, but he's definitely lost a lot of time.
I don't know if he's got damage, but he's lost a lot of time for sure. To put that in perspective, here comes Benico. So, like kind of with John, that's going to hurt his race as well. As Benico goes by, I believe that is Tweaking.
Unfortunately for Mumu, now he has to drive 10 corners on those overheated tires. Well, now, Minico is right behind him. So he doesn't have the luxury of just coming in to stop, try for new tires to go again. He has to stay on these tires a little bit longer unless he wants to put on the hard compounded tire.
Yeah. Not been ideal. Mumu had been driving pretty consistently, pretty well until that moment, and it doesn't hurt that, Nico's not wasting any time. He's looking for a move.
Looks like Mumu's going to come in to stop. Yes, he is. No, he's not. He just let him by.
Yeah, that's probably the smart thing to do. There was really no point for Mumu to fight there. It's just a losing battle at the end of the day.
So Minico up to second. He's now back up into the provisional race lead. Crispy has yet to stop. Mumu has yet to stop. That would put Zach the Beast in provisional P2. Unsighted Port would be provisional P3. He's now within a DRS range and now 0.4 of a second on Deer Hunter in front of him. He's yet to stop too as well. 16-lap-old mediums. And Zach the Beast is actually about 4 seconds ahead of Deer. Port's going to make the use of DRS to his use. That's
That's, I believe, that Lucano again?
That's a safety car now. Not sure, but it looks like, contact, Deer and Port. Almost around. It looked like Deer squeezed Port. I thought it was a safety car, how slow they were going. But then they were going around the outside. Deer Hunter's going to fight for this again. On the outside of turn 4. Deer Hunter's going to go around the long way of turn 4. He's not going to get it. Port's going to get P5.
Well, Unsighted needed to get rid of Deer Hunter as quick as he could. He's on 2-lap soft tires, and he's trying to chase down Zach. Tell you, Taylor, this also worked out well for him. He's P7. And he's got some clean air to deal with. There's another safety car.
Like a red car around. Not sure what it is. Ladder curve.
That'd be
Is it Ronha?
Yes, it is. This race has worked out brilliantly for Minico at the moment.
Oh, 100%.
You know,
Bailey on Axe, battle for 8th. Axe yet to stop. Bailey has used the DRS. That's an easy overtake for the AlphaTauri. He now chases down Taylor in front of him. 1.3 seconds to go chase down his ex-teammate, by the way, in the McLaren. Crispy gets past Minico. Is that going to be an overtake? In the pit lane? No, it's not. It's going to be on track. What happened to Crispy? He was 9 seconds in front of Minico.
He made a mistake or something. He made a mistake and lost, 9 seconds. Mumu's not that far behind him now, and Mumu, he made that mistake, and that's why Crispy had that lead over him. Now it's about to come equal, as Mumu's only 1.4 behind. Looking at all these ones that's made mistakes, you got Unsighted with a 3-second, I believe. Deer has a 3-second. He's not pitted yet as well. This has worked out for Taylor and Bailey here. Theoretically, they should jump the ones that have not pitted due to them staying out and also them making mistakes. Taylor is going to probably end up at P4 and could be on the shut of the podium. He's not that far behind his teammate, Unsighted Port.
Well, right now he has the DRS of Deer Hunter down into turn 4. He's going to go for this move down the inside. That was a late move, and he's going to try to make it work. Outbreaking the Mercedes. The McLaren's going to get the move stuck barely. That was close, but he got it. And up into 6th place now, 3.6 behind his teammate Unsighted Port. Can he catch him down?
We saw the leaders do 13 laps on these softs. Kind of wonder
no.
That's going to hurt Zach's race.
Well, right now, he has Unsighted Port behind him, 3.8 behind, but he also has a 3-second time penalty as well. Let's go through the penalties. John gets past Cookie, battle for 10th. Zach has a 3. Port has a 3. Deer Hunter 3. Axe, John. Whoa, that's a lot. What happened there?
I think we have a glitch. Or
yellow flag, turn 8.
Oh.
Not sure exactly. All the cars keep going.
I see a Ferrari going slow, and now a Ferrari is pitting. That is Boss Cookie.
What's happening? And he's retired to the pits.
He is retired. Interesting. He was slow at the end of Sector 2, Sector 3 there on the second to final corner. Something happened there. Don't know if he got damaged. Or I don't know. He could have had the dreaded wheel glitch. which is still sadly a thing. Not going to help Ferrari at all, though, when it comes to the championship.
No, it is not. Boss Cookie also in the Drivers' Championship is not going to have a fair day as well. Zach the Beast actually within a second of the car in front. Moo ahead of him in the Ferrari as Cookie will drop back down. It was actually almost a race, I believe. No, I was wrong. I was wrong one. Moo goes a little bit wide at the ladder curve. That's going to definitely help Zach the Beast going in and run into turn 2. This flat left to the right-hand side. Zach the Beast with DRS. Not using ERS this time. Now the braking zone of turn 3 will get the move done. But with that line, Mumu's going to get the DRS. He's going to fight it back.
I don't think Mumu's going to have the tire to be able to fight, though. He'll try. Doesn't really have... Oh, well, Zach doesn't have the battery to defend. And Mumu takes the loop.
Around. Mumu goes down the inside. A lot of things going on here at Austria.
Still side by side, and Zach gains position, but as Crispy just gets a penalty. This is going to shake up to a very interesting finish. Remember what we said earlier in qualifying about the ones that can, if they can limit getting penalties, they're going to get a good result. Well, right now, Nico's out in his own world right now. Taylor doesn't have any penalties. Bailey doesn't have any penalties. Jared, if he can make these hards work to the end, he could get something out of it. And Axe is in P9, even with a penalty. He's yet to pit, though.
Set a soft, Mumu, set a soft, Crispy. Both those drivers now in. Axe is in as well. So it's going to be a shot to the finish for these guys. About 15 or so laps to go.
That's going to be doable, but those tires are not going to be in great shape by the end of it. Axe is pitting as well. So that leaves pretty much Deere up front, the only one that hasn't pitted yet. Or maybe he pitted on lap 1. I don't think he did. I know he went off.
Yellow flag. That's the driver off. That looks like KP21 is retired.
Yeah, he's retired.
Safety car.
Well, this changes everything.
Oh, it always does. Because look at that. 7th, 8th,
Zach
11th.
Pitts. This kind of
perfect call.
This really could potentially hurt Manico. When the safety car came out, it was already past the pit lane. This benefits everyone. Zach from behind. They all pit for softs. How does Crispy and Mumu come out at the end of this? They're coming to the front stretch now.
Double stacks.
And Crispy and Mumu will jump up to P3, P4. With theoretically, they're going to be on the same rubber as Zach and the other ones that just pitted. So let's see what Manico does here.
Almost everyone is in, by the way.
Yeah.
Like you said, from pretty much Zach on back, everyone is in.
Yeah.
Mercedes double stacked.
Mercedes.
And so did McLaren.
McLaren, yeah, I saw McLaren double stacked. Kinda, you have no choice there but to double stack. One car is always going to get hurt by that, but I don't think they really lost anything out of it. Nico does pit.
Now, I'm not entirely too convinced on the strategy from Ron, by the way. He went on to the mediums.
Well, we saw at the start of the race where about halfway, lap 8, lap 9, the soft runners, they weren't necessarily getting away from the medium runners. So now you add more rubber on the track. This might not be a bad call. The problem is he's got everyone else behind him on soft, so he has the potential to be swallowed up. I don't know.
We'll have to see. Or start around 9-ish laps to go, so it may be definitely beneficial for these soft runners. Let's go take a look at the positions gained or lost from the start of the Grand Prix about 23 laps ago. Minico's gained 9 positions. He went from 10th to 1st so far. Zach the Beast, he started on pole. He's now 2nd behind his teammate Crispy. He's up 10 positions. He started 13th. He's now 3rd. Mumu's down 2. He started on the front row alongside Zach. He's now 4th. Unsighted Port, he started 6th. He's now 5th. He swapped places with Bailey. He started 5th. He's now 6th. Well, take a look at Taylor. Taylor's gone from 9th to 7th. Deer Hunter's gone from 4th to 8th. Axe has gone from 14th to 9th. That's a good position gain from him, alongside with Crispy and Minico as one of the top runners. John has lost 2 from 8th to 10th. Jared's lost 8. He started in the top 3. He's now to 11th. Ron Swanson up from 16th to 12th. Ferrari Nut down from 12th to 13th after his incident as well. Kieran Evans from 19th to game for the Williams. Luciano down from 11th to 15th. Phantom down from 15th to 16th. And Tweaking and Ed Toronja has not gone anywhere position-wise.
One thing.
But we have lost KP21 and Boss Cookie out of the race.
We'll see if, who's that going to be? Phantom is the one that's in between Nico and Zach for the safety car lineup. What this race has done is it kind of resets it a bit. You know, Mumu had his issue, Deer had his issue, Taylor had his issue. Taylor recovered though, but look at Jared. This brings him back into the race after his mistake or whatever happened at the top of the hill. So it's going to be probably 11 lap shootout. Yeah, it's something.
Let's take a look at the penalties. It's gone through again. 3 for Zach, 3 for Crispy. Mumu, Minico, both drivers in the top 5. Who has yet to get a penalty? Unsighted Port, 3 seconds. Bailey, Taylor, no penalties. Deer Hunter, Axe, John, 3-3-6. Jared, Ron, Ferrari Nut, no penalties. And bound from Kieran down to Ed Toronja in 18th. 3-6-6-3-3. A lot of penalties.
Yep.
That is only, what, 7 drivers without him? This could definitely benefit them.
And you remember last week, because of penalties, I believe Ron, who was going to finish P10 at France, actually finished P6. So you say he's on the medium compound, it could work with that because he is one of the drivers that doesn't have a penalty. He's just going to have to stay with this field.
One thing to point out, oh yes, he definitely will have to see the best he can do on those mediums, but I guarantee you, a lot of us, me and you especially, know this phrase. Cautions breed cautions. You think that's going to happen?
We have everyone on soft tires, about the same equal life of tires, full battery. It wouldn't surprise me. Right now, that Nico has in his favor, it looks like Phantom would like to get by. I don't know if he's allowed to get by to get his lap back. Nico does have a lap car between him and Zach, and if he plays this right, Zach is going to have to get by Phantom quickly per blue flags, but that could help out Nico open up a gap.
Well, also would help him is if he can get out of that DRS range, that 1 second within that 3 laps. So if he can do that, it also could very much help the Red Bull win this race.
Well, we saw in the opening laps, we saw someone make mistakes, but there's a lot of patience in the first opening laps on that soft stint with the front 6 guys in as the safety car comes in. I don't think we're going to see a lot of patience.
Oh, I don't think so at all. It's going to be about what? We're going to restart on lap 27. About 10 laps remaining in the Austrian Grand Prix for round 9 of the realistic tier in the Breakout Racing League. And, well, I think it's going to be an all-out brawl. 10 laps of sprint racing. Who says the F1 side did not bring the F1 sprint into the game? Because now we're just having it at the Austrian Grand Prix. Minico from Zach the Beast from Crispy. Top 3 Hondas. Mumu in 4th. Unsighted Port, Bailey, Taylor, Deer, Axe, John, top 10. Everyone else wants the points. Minico's gone.
He got a great jump. He already broke the. He's already up by a second.
1.2. John past Axe. Luciano past Kieran Evans. But look at this. This is a better move. Mumu on Crispy. Mumu's going to run to the left-hand side. Or, I'm sorry, Crispy rather. Here comes. Look at this. Unsighted Port's going to make it 3 wide down in the turn 3. Is this going to work? Contact. More contact between him and Crispy. Mumu's going to get 3rd. Port's going to get 4th. Crispy 5th. Bailey 6th. Bailey and Crispy are now going to try to go and intimidate the best they can inside of Port in the McLaren. Down the inside, Crispy looking there, late on the brakes, not going to get that done there, but he's going to try to look for a move on Moo in a 5. Phantom has yet to let these guys pass, by the way. That will give him dirty air. Around the outside, Port's going to make it on turn 6. He's not going to happen. Crispy's going to look for that move. It's also not going to happen. And that's just helping Moo. I'm sorry, not Moo. Actually, it helps Moo because he's now 1.6 seconds ahead of inside of Port. I'm sorry, no.
No, it's the other way around.
What? My brain's not working.
You're in the right.
He's now okay. Helps Zach and Miniko.
Zach and Miniko, they're gone. They can be able to have to breathe a little bit easier, but Moo has the whole field behind him right now. And
well, speaking of the whole food, here comes inside of Port. He looks for a move. He's backing out on it.
Oh.
Deer Hunter, 3-second time penalty. That's going to hurt him. But here comes Port again. A lap ago, it was Crispy on this fight. Now it's unsighted Port. Oh, contact! The championship rivals both out of the race.
Wow. Would that be a safety car? It is.
Yes.
Well, this is going to shake up the championship.
Well, I said cautions could breed cautions. You agreed.
Yes.
Well, now both championship rivals and protagonists are out of the Grand Prix.
Well, I don't know what Miniko's penalty situation is in terms of warnings, but I was taking a look at the standings because that just happened, and they won't score points. Who this will benefit? Miniko. He sits at 80 points, and right now has the fastest lap. He could walk away with 106 points. He will jump Moo in points. Depending, maybe Bailey. Bailey sits P6, but he doesn't have a penalty, so he could end up P2. Those two are the ones that are really going to benefit. Zach will benefit as well. Well, who knows? He has a penalty, but wow.
Yeah, I'm speechless with that. It was 2 laps in a row that Moo was under pressure. One from Crispy the lap before, and it had a lot of contact between those 3 drivers as unsighted Port went on the inside of turn 3 and kind of grasping and battling for that position. And, well, the next lap, it happened again, but this time putting both drivers out of the race before they even got to turn 3.
Well, we talked about earlier before the last safety car restart, Ron on mediums, if that was a good choice or not. Well, he decides that wasn't a good choice. He goes to softs. He was the only one to pit. He sits P13, but like Ferrari Nut, like Jared, Bailey, they're the only ones that don't have a penalty. Jared's in P8. What a good recovery he has had. And he could potentially be on the podium if he can keep it.
Yes, he could. Wow.
That would be quite the recovery drive, and something that he needs and Alpine needs when you consider Ferrari will come away with 0 points. McLaren's only going to have 1 car come home.
Well, as it stands, this definitely benefits Red Bull because they will, as it stands, retake that Constructors' Championship lead like it was a week ago before that interesting race happened where it kind of had similar misfortunes for McLaren happened to Red Bull at Paul Ricard.
Well, you know, going into the race, Ferrari was 19 points ahead of Alpine in P5. If Jared and Ferrari Nut can get double points, they have the potential to tie Ferrari, if not potentially take the lead over Ferrari, because both of them don't have penalties. So, interesting to see how that shakes out.
Safety car should, in theory, come in this time by, meaning we'll restart on lap 31, giving us 6 laps to go. And a lot of these guys are on 5, 6, 7 lap old softs. How well do they hold up? Ron Swanson on new softs. Same with BRL Phantom. Phantom is a lap down, though. He's only going to be battling Ed Nut or Ian Tweaking, barring any other retirements. How well will these softs hold up?
I don't think the softs will be a problem because, yeah, it says 5, 6 laps, but we've only really seen 2 laps of racing on these tires. So I think wear-wise, I think it'll be fine.
We'll have to see. Miniko's now going to be backing up the field to his own agenda. His teammate behind him, Zach the Beast, he wants to get that race win, but he has that penalty. Same with Crispy, same with Deer Hunter, same with Taylor. Bailey has no penalties. John has a penalty. Jared, you said had no penalties. Axe has no penalties. Actually, I'm sorry, Axe has a penalty. The guy behind him, Ferrari Nut, he has a penalty. That's going to definitely help those guys. Minico, when is he going to go? Still backing it up. He's going to try to limit the amount of slipstream gone. He's gone. Axe has a 5-second time penalty. Severe collision with Ferrari Nut.
And that gave Ferrari Nut a 5-second as well, so.
A lot of penalties. Kieran just got a 3. John just got a 3. And it's down to this. Look at this. Crispy and Deer Hunter. Ferrari Nut's out of the Grand Prix. Deer Hunter down the inside of Crispy to turn 2. And will grab the position ahead of the Alpha Tauri. Taylor on the outside. Late braking for the McLaren. He goes off the track. That's going to help him. Actually, I'm sorry, hurt him. As Bailey now going to try to attack the McLaren. Here he goes. Down into turn 4. Bailey's going to try to go for this. Ferrari Nut, once again, has retired out of the session. That'll promote a lot of guys up one position. Around the outside of turn 4. Bailey's going to go for this.
Oh.
He's going to stay there. And Taylor's going to hold it off into turn 6.
And now he's got John all over him. Almost contact there between John and Bailey. Minico did not fly away like he did on the previous restart. And the top 10 is theoretically in the DRS train as Ron makes the move for P11.
Ron could grab a points-paying position once again like he did a couple weeks ago. And I'm sorry, last week in France and a couple weeks ago before that in Spain. He's had some pretty successful finishes in the Alfa Romeo. Them and the Haas team both have had some pretty barring performances that are not representative of where the pace of the car should be. Bailey and John, they switch positions, battle for 6th. And Taylor and Crispy battle for 4th.
Oh, they make contact. Oh, Crispy gets shot off.
John's going to get them both. Taylor almost loses the car. Oh, Bailey loses it, though.
Oh,
that's not Bailey. It's Crispy, sorry. Look at Jared, though. Where did Jared come from? Jared's down the inside of 2 cars. Down to turn 4. He'll grab 4th position. From Taylor, from John. Bailey ahead of Axe. Luciano. Ron is up in the top 10. Crispy has had a lack of wing damage.
He has.
Luciano gets past Axe.
I thought it said Crispy retired. Or no, it said Crispy left the session. Hopefully we can find a way to bring him back. 3 cars.
John Taylor battling hard.
They're battling for basically 2 spots or a room of 2 cars there, and looked like Crispy got the worst end of that one.
Well, here comes John on Taylor. This was one of the battles that kind of sparred at the end of turn 4. Kieran Evans is out of the Grand Prix.
Oh, that's
virtual safety car.
Well, let's see how quickly we can remove this car. Deer Hunter is not that far off of these Red Bulls. Then we have a pretty good gap there to Jared, who's in P4. He's going to have to get a move on if he wants podium. Because, well, Jared actually has a 6. So, I'm sorry, Deer Hunter has a 6. So, right now, Jared's slotted for P3.
I think as of right now, Jared's almost a lock for this 3rd position. I think it's a battle for who can get this second. I'm sorry. Yeah, Jared's almost a lock for the podium. It's not, I guess, locked for what position he has. Because Zach could, honestly, he could lose that position to Jared. He's not close enough. 7/10 of a second is the gap between Zach and Jared. That favor right now going to the Red Bull of Zach the Beast. But what if Jared grabs a penalty?
Yeah.
Deer Hunter has a 6, so that's obviously going to definitely help Jared. But John has a 9.
That's going to
Taylor
hurt.
has a 3. And Bailey's behind all of them.
And the one thing that these drivers do not want to receive is a drive-through. That will just completely ruin your race.
And Axe just got a 20-second time penalty speeding under VSC, so I guess they don't want to drive through. Not with this amount of time left.
No, but that's just pretty much a drive-through. Oh, Bailey gets a 3.
Bailey got a 3-second time penalty. Here comes John on Jared, though. The Mercedes has the overspeed to the left-hand side of turn 4 around the outside. Jared's going to keep this in. He's actually going to get the move and make it stick once again, defending really hard for the Alpine, even though he doesn't have to. But he's right now staying in P4. How much longer before he stays? Actually, right now, look at that, 3.9. He has 2 seconds of a buffer between Deer Hunter's gap window.
Ooh, it's going to be close. Jared looking at the interval to the leader. He's going to get P3, but I don't know if he's going to get P2. Unless the Red Bulls start fighting, which they shouldn't.
Well, Think about it, though. John is a Mercedes. So is Deer Hunter.
Yep.
What does John do as he gets passed up into P4 on track? Now that puts the gap between him and Deer Hunter, Jared, by the way, from 4.1 to 4.5.
Oh, Zach goes
Jared
wide.
now has DRS. Zach runs wide. He's lost P2. Well, that's going to hurt him because now he's in the window from Jared.
Yes.
No, he's not.
Well, no, but
It's close, though.
it's close.
Down the inside of turn 4, Jared with the move on John. He's going to make the move stick. Side by side into 5, and he's going to get the move into 5.
The gap between
Look
Jared.
at this, behind him, Bailey and Taylor around the outside, turn 6. Bailey and Taylor squeezing each other on the exit of turn 6, down into 7. Who's going to make way? None of them. They're still side by side. Bailey gets ahead of Taylor.
The gap separating Jared and Zach is roughly 1.1 seconds. And when you consider the penalty. And what's not helping Jared is he's in a battle with John.
As he now gets ahead of the Alpine going into turn 1 in the auto curve. And that's going to be, I believe, it's tweaking.
It's tweaking.
Going slow on the exit of turn 10. Oh, John almost loses the car. Oh, almost crashes and overcorrects it into Jared. And that is definitely going to end his chance for this, top 5 position.
Yes.
Right now we're on the final lap of the Grand Prix, and we'll go from this fight to the leader. Mumu has left the session. Unfortunately, what happened to him. But it started in qualifying with a very, very unique set of circumstances. Crashing out at the Lada curve. Started 10th, but he has not looked back since. Minico has done nothing but success so far in this Red Bull. He tried to win a week ago. He won on track. He couldn't keep it. This time, he'll keep it. Minico wins the Austrian Grand Prix ahead of Deer Hunter. Zach the Beast will grab second place. Another 1-2 for Red Bull, and that's going to put Jared up to 3rd. Deer Hunter 4th. Bailey 5th. Taylor 6th. John 7th. Luciano 8th. Axe spins out actually across the line. He's not going to get points. Luciano 9th. Axe has a 20-second time penalty on top of that 5. He may actually, he's going to grab it.
He's going to grab it because
He's gonna grab
Crispy,
points.
yeah, he is. Well, it's good that a 20-second VSC didn't cost Axe at the end of the day. And that's very worthy of driver of the day. 10th to 1st, basically with straight right up the field. Good response after what happened.
Heartbreak. Yes, it was. It was heartbreak a week ago, but now it's all well that ends well. Red Bull, it's a 1-2 at the Red Bull Ring.
Third 1-2 in the last 4 races for them. And after a weird race that was France, a 1-2 finish with only one McLaren in the points, that being Taylor, they opened up a gap over them in the championship. And looking at the championship now,
Well, with that, Minico and the Red Bull team will grab the Constructors' Championship lead. Minico wins over Zach the Beast. Another 1-2, 3 out of 4 for that team so far. Jared, his second podium. He gets 3rd from Deer Hunter, Bailey, Taylor, Ron Swanson, John, Luciano, Axe F1. He'll grab another points-paying position in 10th. Crispy, Ed, Tweaking, Kieran Evans, Ferrari Nut, Phantom, Unsighted Port, Mumu, KB21, and Boss Cookie. Your top 20 at the Austrian Grand Prix.
I need to get me a drink while you do that. Second.
All right, as we wait for the rest of the podium sitters to get up into the party, you will get the interview started shortly. All right, looks like all three of you are here. And whenever we come to you, make sure to click that box on the top of the party to include your audio for we can hear you on the stream for the podium interviews. Let's go to DRC Jared in third, the Alpine. We had an interesting statistic at the beginning of this Grand Prix. Other than Monaco, you've only had 1 points finish, and that was the 10th place a week ago. Well, that's now your second podium and your 3rd points finish. Well, that 15 points is definitely going to give a lot for the championship. How did that race go from your eyes, from your perspective?
I mean, it started out well, but then, yeah, Port decided to chuck me in the wall, even though he's like a bloody orange bullet in a straight line, so I don't know what that was about, so I just decided I'd hope for a safety car and stayed out in the hards and tried to not get any penalties. And when I could put the softs on at the end and have a go, I, yeah, just went for it and hoped for the best.
Well, we actually saw that crash in the exit of turn 3, and we honestly thought you may have been out of the race. How lucky were you to not end your race with that crash?
Yeah, I mean, I was expecting when I hit the wall the wheel to fly off, but it didn't, so I guess that was lucky in a way.
I agree. I saw that on my end, and I thought you were done.
Yeah.
Well, a week from now, we head to Silverstone, to the British Grand Prix. How do you think the Alpine fares? How do you think you fare at the British Grand Prix a week from now?
It's a blue boat, so it's gonna be interesting, especially through like maggots and Beckett's and stuff. But I'll have a go.
Well, we'll see how that goes a week from now for the British Grand Prix. So congratulations on your P3, your podium, the 2nd of the season, and well, looks like these are being a little bit more recurrent.
Cheers.
Let's go to P2. And the Red Bull, it's happened again. The 3rd 1-2 in about 4 races, so almost quite 100%, but it's about 75% chance that you get a 1-2 so far through 4 races. A little bit of statistics if you really want to hear it. But let's go to you. A lot have happened that race. Started from pole. Walk us through what happened from your race, Zach.
To be honest, I didn't have that much pace. I just didn't feel confident, especially in the first stint, really. I was holding everyone up, and as soon as Zeno was right behind me, I just let him through. Basically sat, just being patient, and then safety car came out. I boxed with the softs, made a front wing adjustment. It kind of helped, but it didn't do much, really, to the car. But I about murdered him on the second to last lap in turn 3. Thankfully, I was able to have the instincts of a lion right there, and I just let deer through and just sat there because I was on 2 warnings that last lap. I just sat there, don't do anything stupid, and I got the P2. And I'm glad that we get that Red Bull 1-2 again. And I would like to say one thing to everyone: if we are so easy to beat, then practice and do it, because I just don't understand why everyone is saying, oh, it's so Zeno's easy to beat. Ooh. Just practice and beat him. If he's so easy to beat, then why has every time nothing has went wrong for Red Bull, why are we getting a 1-2 every time?
Some strong words. The rest of the realistic tier. Well, so far they've had the stats to back it up. 3 1-2s and about 4 Grand Prix. Well, a week from now, I said it to Jared, I'll say it to you. How do you think you and the Red Bull team fare at the Silverstone circuit? No? Okay.
No, I'm just gaining my breath. I was just had a sweaty race there.
Would you like us to go back to you?
No, I'll be fine.
Okay. So how do you think you fare at Silverstone a week from now?
Silverstone, I haven't done a single lap on this track in the game, but I've heard that turn 1 and the corpse corner, it seems like it's really hard to navigate, so we'll see when we get there. But
That's right, you're in a Red Bull.
Yeah, we'll see. That's what I've heard, that you spin a lot through there, but I'm not sure. We'll have to see. Especially in Red Bull, the car is really stable, so once again, we'll see.
Well, we'll see indeed. Congratulations on your podium, your P2 from the Austrian Grand Prix, the home Grand Prix for Red Bull.
Yeah.
Well, we don't have to change cars. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, it feels nice to get the 1-2 at the Red Bull Ring here at Austria. Yeah, Silverstone, we'll see what will happen there, and hoping for another great result.
Well, let's see how it goes a week from now. Well, we don't have to change the cars because, once again, it's another 1-2 for Red Bull. It wasn't quite what happened a week ago, because, I mean, obviously it's exactly the opposite of what happened a week ago. A week ago, you finished first on track, but having a lot of penalties due to, I mean, some of your own accord and some of just a little bit of a tiny bit of a mistake, but not track limits-wise. Well, now it's the complete opposite. You finished first, no penalties, from 10th. Run us through how it went, Nico.
I am just absolutely ecstatic, to be honest. After that incident in Q3, I just knew that I had to give it everything. And, well, considering what happened at turn 1, I already made up like a couple positions there, and then obviously I just made my way up the field, and then once I got up to Zach, he let me by so I could get past Mumu, which inevitably worked. And then by then, it was actually pretty simple. All I had to do was just not get any penalties, and, well, that's exactly what I did. And then obviously the late race safety cars didn't exactly help, considering the fact that the Mercedes of Deere was right by us pushing. But in the end, we managed to best him, not only on track, but also in terms of time penalties. And yeah, Red Bull 1-2 again on the Red Bull ring, and I started 10th. I don't know how to react.
Well, I can definitely see you're ecstatic with that. It's definitely a lot different than it was a week ago. Obviously, I had a chance to talk with you about that a week ago. But, well, now, obviously, you can't really look back. You have to look forward. Well, speaking of looking forward, it's Silverstone. How do you think you'll fare, and how do you think the Red Bull will fare at Silverstone a week from now?
I think that obviously the Red Bull has quite a lot of downforce, and there are plenty of tracks, plenty of corners, in which you would need quite a bit of downforce. So I think, considering how that track flows, I think we could fare well. Britain isn't entirely my best track, considering what happened last season. I didn't have the best of times, but hopefully I can turn that around and, well, just ideally get another 1-2 for Red Bull.
We'll have to see from there. Savoie, would you like to say anything?
One thing, Domenico. Q3. Did you anticipate the track being as wet it was? Because we saw you had your issue. Taylor had his issue a couple of laps ago. Did it seem as wet as it seemed on the camera from our end?
At the time when Q3 first started, it wasn't all that greasy. There was definitely rain, but it wasn't significant enough, so I thought that the softs would have been fine, but as it turned out, when I started my lap, it just completely changed, and the next thing you know, I had no grip, which inevitably caused me to crash. But yeah, it was just the change in grip just changed from the out lap onto my flying lap, and yeah, it was just completely unexpected.
Well, I don't know if that made you pretty pissed off when that happened, but if that did, you certainly drove like someone that, yeah, you had a point to prove.
Doesn't everyone? Especially what's been going on with me recently, not in terms of like other drivers saying stuff to me, but like kind of mentally as well. It's not entirely been the best of times, so I really had to prove something here, and well, started 10th, finished first, and the fastest lap. And Rebel 1-2, I definitely can't be disappointed.
No. Well, I think a lot of people will look back on this race. Mistakes were made. Our championship went to finishers. As you probably noticed, and this is all probably open up to Zach as well, you see the top two in the championship, they crash out, they get 0 points. Y'all two benefit from this massively. What do y'all think about the championship? Does this open it up to where y'all are within a shot?
As of right now... Oh, sorry, you want to go, Zach?
No, you can go.
Okay, thank you. Well, as of now, considering what happened with McLaren, I know that considering the fact that we had a 1-2, we maximized the amount of points, and I think now we're ahead of in the constructors, and we gained quite a lot on the championship leader of Port because he DNF'd, and especially Mumu as well because he DNF'd as well. So this is a huge gain for us, and I'm hoping we can keep that momentum going forward as well. We both want to challenge for that championship, and right now we're getting closer, but we can't get too complacent about it.
Well,
Yeah.
if my math is right, I think you're going to net up P2 in the championship, Nico, and Zach, I think you're going to be, P3.
Well, my side
Definitely
on
can't
it
be
is,
mad about that.
yeah, I'm not mad about that. Results are the result. You always got to take points when you can. But anyway, for me, I'm not I don't care about the championship right now. I'm just trying to get consistent results, and I'll worry about the championship when we get there.
All right, well, that's it from my end. Here it is left, so.
One thing I do want to point out, by the way, a little bit of a remove at Ferrari. It's been official. Rhodes have terminated the contract for Cookie, and he is now going to be signed for the Mercedes-AMG Petronas team from rounds 10 to 15. We'll see who he can now and, I guess, revive Mercedes and how they go on. But that is for a week from now, because the race, and from our side, it's done. It's dusted, and it's time to kind of end things and wrap it up. Well, if you liked what you saw, congratulations. There's more races because this is the weekend upcoming. Welcome to the Austrian Grand Prix weekend. Tomorrow and Friday, we have Tier 3 at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Tier 4 at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But don't wait, there's more. On Saturday, we have Tier 2 at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and Tier 1 at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then, trust me, if you don't like F1, I don't understand how you see that, but it's your choice because we have another option for you. Instead of course, Competizione, we have the 2 hours at Imola on Sunday. Tune in for that. You'll see Axe and, actually, I believe, Ethan go bring in, or Ethab as he's known, to bring the action for around the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix in Assetto Corsa Competizione for 2 hours in the season penultimate round. We'll see how that turns out for Assetto Corsa Competizione on Sunday. Well, we also have Formula 2 next week on Wednesday, and then meet us back about a week from this for the British Grand Prix on Thursday at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. But from us at the Austrian Grand Prix, myself, Heycatra, Bois, Miniko, Zach the Beast, and DRC Jared, and the entirety of the BRL Realistic Tier, thank you for tuning in, and good night.